Hello everyone, I'm Chad Elledge.
I'm Ben Bakken.
And we're here from the Golf Leadership Academy in Novi, Michigan. And we'd like to tell you for this golf season coming up, the #1 mistake folks made is before they even swing the club. So we want to give you some insight into what that looks like and what you can do about it, more importantly. So Ben, what is the #1 mistake that everybody, before they even swing the club, make?
Yeah, one of the mistakes that most of the amateurs are making out there is, we would say it's commitment versus conflict. So I think a lot of you, when you're standing behind the ball, you're getting prepared to hit your golf shots, there's a lot of conflict going through your head. You're not clear on all the decisions that you need to make to execute a good golf shot. So we really have two things that you need to do when you're behind the ball. So the first thing you need to do when you're behind the ball is you need to get clear on what you want the ball to do.
When Ben and I were doing a lot of on-course coaching, we asked this question to almost every one of our players, and we found out that a lot of adults had a very, very hard time answering this question. The question was, or the question is what do you want the ball to do? When we asked this question, mostly we would get the answer to a lot of their swing problems. And then so we would say, well, we're not talking about your swing, we're talking about the ball. What do you want the ball to do? And then once we could get folks off of their swing problems, then it was usually the answer of what they didn't want the ball to do. I didn't want to hit it left, or I don't want to hit it in the water, right? So it's a question that's simple. What do you want the ball to do? A lot of folks had a hard time answering it. So that's one of the things we mean about conflict.
Yes.
Cool.
The other thing that gives people trouble is they're not really clear on what they're going to do throughout the swinging motion before they actually swing the golf club. You have to get clear on what you're going to do throughout your motion before you walk into the ball. If you're standing over the ball trying to make those decisions, there's a part of your brain called your prefrontal cortex that actually gets engaged, and it delays the signal being sent to your muscles. And at that point in time, the shot has already failed before you swung the golf club.
Very good. So not committed to a specific course of action or getting clear on what one thing you're going to do, what one thing you're going to put your attention on throughout the swinging motion so you can get your ball to do what you want it to do.
You got it.
Do you want to demonstrate what some normal conflict could look like? And then we'll demonstrate what we would think a committed motion looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And take it away from me. Let's see what you got.
So normally I would be facing the screen when I'm making the decisions, but for the purpose of this activity, I'm going to face the camera. So I'm going to stand behind the ball and I'm going to demonstrate what it sounds like for most amateurs when they're standing behind it. I've got a 7-iron in my hands, and typically I fly it right around 165. So the amateur standing behind the golf ball, what do I want the ball to do? Well, there's water short right, like I cannot hit it in the water short right. And you know what, there's OB tight left, so I can't go in the water, I can't go out of bounds. Like, okay, good. And then they walk in and they actually hit the shot.
Whoops.
So what's happening here is the only thing that's happening is there's a bunch of images that are being produced in your mind of your ball going in the water and out of bounds. We have to get clear on what you want that thing to do. And then the second step that they skipped is they're not even clear what they're going to do throughout the motion before they walked in. So this time, I'm going to do it a little differently.
Okay, here we go.
Here's what I want my ball to do. It's going to be a high fade 7-iron. It's going to fly 162 to the center of the green. It's going to release a couple feet. I'm going to commit to sensing the weight of the golf club moving slightly left throughout the motion.
So as you listen to Ben at home, do you hear in his words how clear he is on what he wants and then what he's going to do? So there didn't sound like there was any conflict about that. So very, very clear on what you were doing. And we would call that the first stage of commitment.
Yes.
Right? And then you would have to put your attention on the club head.
All the way through the motion.
All the way through the motion, and that is truly what commitment leads. So if we can get the conflict out and the commitment in, your performance is going to improve.
The hard thing about this commitment thing is as I'm committing to whatever I said I was going to, I need to be completely detached from the result at that point in time. So there's another opportunity for conflict to kind of sneak in there. Like, you're trying to sense the weight of the golf club all the way through the motion, then all of a sudden you're worried about that ball going into the water. That's not commitment. So we're constantly working on a skill what we call as attentional control. Can you keep 100% of your attention on your intention while being completely detached from the result?
That's the art of the deal right there, folks. Okay. So we got to get the conflict out, we got to get the commitment up, and then a lot of you don't know how much conflict is present, and then that's really the source of the error way, way, way sooner than any golf technique or swing error that you think you might be having. So we hope this helps you. Tune into our videos, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.